countries, and we're not even talking our native language. Isn't that crazy?
It's absolutely crazy.
I just gotta say, I'm sorry if you hear any weird sound. I just live in the center of the city.
Not at all.
It's chaos.
No problem.
You're gonna hear pigeons, motorbikes. I try to remove background noise, whatever. But
That's all right. No problem.
also, man, your quality.
I'm trying my best, but I'm using the new camera. That's why.
Oh, which one are you using?
So I'm using Lumix S5 2X.
Oh,
that's one of the newest ones.
That's great, bro. That's great. I'm using the Sony A15100.
Yeah, you told me about it. They're really cool.
Which, by the way, I'm sorry, but I don't know if it's gonna last a lot. But I was just trying new stuff, and I just found out that you just cannot use it while it's charging.
Oh, didn't know that.
Yeah, so it's like, I don't know how much it's gonna last. Whatever it does, I'm just gonna use the face cam if I had to change.
Yeah, no problem.
It's about
yeah.
I just want to have. We always want to have the best quality possible.
Of course,
we have to work.
Yeah.
So Raoul, I'm sorry if I mispronounced your name.
No, that's perfectly fine.
It's just here we say Raoul.
Yeah, that's cool too.
So, do you speak Spanish at all, or?
Hablo un poquito de español, just a little bit, but not much.
Yeah, I can tell because it's funny because I'm looking here and you're over there in the camera. So I was wondering because I've seen your videos and you talk like pretty much good Spanish. I mean, I'm seeing your covers and.
Yeah.
And
covers they're a bit easier because I have the time to practice the lyrics, and I basically work on phonetics, so it's a bit artificial. I don't really speak Spanish fluently.
Okay. You do great still, bro. Like,
thanks.
Gotta give you props for that.
Gracias.
So your name is Raoul.
Yeah.
Tchoï.
So it's a French version of the classic Tchoï, which is spelled CHOI in the US.
Yeah.
So, it's Korean.
So you live in France, right?
Yes, I do. Yeah.
So dope, right? I've always wanted to just, I don't know, just for the fun. Like, I don't want it to be, like, I don't know. Just when I think about French people, what comes to my mind, it's like artists like Stromae, is it called?
Yeah.
I remember from school. It's just good memories,
Yeah. Let me know if you're ever in Paris.
Of course, dude. Yeah. I'll be so dope. Like, you imagine?
Yeah.
You're Korean too, or you have like it's your family?
So yeah, both my parents are from South Korea, but I was born in France, in the north of France, actually. So I'm 100% French, and you can tell by my accent.
Yeah, I can tell, but you do great, bro. Like, I'm telling you, your accent.
Like, thanks.
Fluently, like I can tell. And yeah, I actually have a friend from South Korea too.
Oh.
He used to live here in the Dominican Republic.
All right.
Yeah, and went to school and all that. He's now, I believe, he's in the army. You have to like 2 years or something like that.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, it's really, really great dude. Also a great musician, by the way. It's an amazing player.
All right.
It's called Gino. So if you're watching this,
I think I'm not sure, but I think I follow him on Instagram. What's his handle on Instagram?
Gino, I think it's Gino Lee.
Let's check. Oh, no, I'm not sure, but yeah. If you can send me his Instagram later,
I'd
love to check.
Sure. I know he will love your stuff.
Yeah.
Also,
thanks.
Of course. So I got my coffee, but I should do water.
Yeah. I have my glass of water. Yeah.
I just can't live without my coffee, brother. I'm sorry.
Me too, but past around 3 p.m. is the cutting line for me. Because then I go way too late in the evening and the night, and it's not good for me.
So it's funny because you don't even know like the name of the podcast. I mean, it's called the Josue podcast.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
So welcome everyone to the Josue podcast. This is our first episode.
Yeah.
I should have said that in the beginning. I just sorry I forgot just by
No, that's fine. I just said yes because we've been chatting for a while. So I would have said yes anyway. So
we were talking for a while.
Yeah.
When did we met?
I'm not sure, but it's been at least a year and a half, I think. Maybe 2 years.
Yeah, I believe more like 2 years more. I believe it was actually in the end of 2021.
All right.
Because I remember I started to watch your videos, your covers. I remember it was with the Horizon devices contest. Yeah, I remember very well.
All right, so it's been a few years now.
It's been a few years, yeah. But I can remember I was just like, I gotta watch what this man is doing next. Like,
thanks, man.
Yeah, so I was just thinking, with that Horizon devices thing, I was thinking, how does it feel like to have someone like Misha and the team of HD like up to what you do?
It was surreal because Misha has been a real hero of mine, musically and also as on the business side of things. Because I think he's one of the few musicians who really went ahead and transitions into business in a very clever way. And I really, really admire that. But still today with Periphery, they still push the envelope of what we call prog metal.
Yeah.
And I find that really, really inspiring. And he's also on a synth quest now with his modular synth thing. Yeah, he's such a geek.
Nerd.
Yeah, I love it.
I love that too.
But yeah, it was really surreal. Seeing Misha say my name and everything, I was a bit teary-eyed, to be fair.
Yeah, man, I see him every time. Like, it's just up to everything you do. It's amazing. Must feel. I just wonder how that feels like, you know?
Yeah, it's insane. When I saw that Horizon devices, so Brian from Horizon sent me a message, or I think it was maybe Nick at the time. Someone from the team sent me a message saying you're in the top 10 or 5 or so beforehand. So that was already crazy for me. But then seeing Misha watch my stuff, that made my year.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
I just find it really humbling that I got to see your growth as a musician and as a person, you know? I don't know who approached who first, but I don't know you, but you see, I think it doesn't matter like who does it first, but someone takes initiative, right?
Yeah.
What's your thoughts on that?
Do you mean like us, you and me on Instagram? Make a good point of trying to answer everyone and reply to every comment, because I feel like that's what you're supposed to do as a normal human being. So I just try to be nice because I see Instagram, or I see my Instagram account as my living room, basically. And it's a public living room, so everyone's free to just chill and see what's to see there. But we're still human beings, so it doesn't hurt to be just a regular, nice person and just have cool chats and everything every time I can. Yeah, so I think it was you, if I'm not mistaken, because I'm really reserved and shy, so I don't really...
Of course.
It makes me uncomfortable most of the time, but I think you must have sent me a message or reacted to one of my stories. I always appreciate that, so I must have sent like that emoji or something like that, or a heart.
Yeah, I always do that too.
Yeah.
Another one, and then I do like a purple heart because I love the color purple.
Yeah, I can see that in your videos too. Yeah.
So for anyone that's listening right now and are not aware of who this Misha is in Horizon devices, because there's a lot of people that watching it that they're not even in the scene. They don't even know like like music wise. So can you, Raoul, tell us more about it?
So the Misha we're talking about is Misha Mansour, who's the guitarist and founder of the band Periphery. So they play a fairly aggressive style of music that could be qualified as modern prog metal. So it's metal at the core. So you get the and the heavy drums and everything, but with a funky side to the grooves. And yeah, it's a bit of a mix with some almost anime soundtrack elements and very orchestral stuff too. So it's a very rich music, but still heavy at the core. So
Yeah,
if you
very
like
epic.
the heavy stuff, yeah, it could be fun to to
For
listen to.
sure, man. So talking more about bands, of course, Periphery is just also one of my favorite bands. I'm really a prod dude also, so I mean that's what I love about you. Like you're pretty versatile. I see you like working almost
Yeah,
any genres.
that really confused me at first because we live at an age where you need, at least to some degree, you need to fit into boxes, even just to market yourself.
Right.
So being the guy who does one thing one day and a totally different thing the other day, I think it works against me in the current market, but I really don't care because I'm one of those weird guys who really enjoy any kind of music, really, except maybe for rap music, but that's just because I don't have the culture and I didn't really listen to it when I grew up. But apart from rap music and some niche scenes in electronic music, I really thoroughly enjoy and play a wide variety of genres. So for me, it's just natural. So I'll pick up the bass and play a jazz line because that's what I did when I learned how to play the bass. And I also like to chug because it's fun. And music is just about that. It's about
Right.
fun.
Yeah, that's what it is. Really admire you for to have the balls to do that kind of stuff. You know, it's not. I believe it's just really tricky. You know, to you always feel like there's, I don't know you, but to me, I always feel like there's always something missing, and I'm like, it doesn't sound like Jerry's missing that. You know, especially with gent, you're like, it's missing that gent, that little sound. So
Yeah.
we can talk more about that part also, but I would like you to talk more about your band. So now that we're talking about bands and all that. So it's a Panache.
Yeah, it's that. Yeah.
Yeah, right?
Panache. Yeah.
Is that how you pronounce it, right?
Yeah. So I have a band with basically my best friends. So that's a very cool situation to be in. And we play disco pop music. So it's really upbeat and really, yeah, just fun music. And yeah, I play the bass, the guitar, and sing a little. And I do everything audio related. Yeah, we've been active for 5 to 6 years now. And we're planning a few new releases and yeah, a little summer tour coming up too.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah, we're trying to, yeah.
Oh, I'm ready to watch all that. That'll be sick.
Yeah.
So you guys are French, and
Yeah, we are.
That makes me wonder, like, how is it for bands in France? Like, I have no clue how the music scene is over there. You tell me more about it.
We're lucky that we met in Paris, and our career basically everything started in Paris, and that's where you get. That's where you have everyone in the business, basically. Like, I think it could be related to London in the UK, where a lot of doors open themselves when you're at this good time, right place, right time, basically.
Right.
And that's been the case for us. But what really kickstarted our band was when we did a little, don't know how you say it in English, but it was a tremplin. So it's one of the battle of the bands kind of stuff. And we basically won the French part of that and went to the international final, which took place in Germany in a festival called Zaubertal. And what's really funny is that festival is a bit rock and metal based.
Right.
So we played the same night as In Flames. So it was a bit of the 180 going from In Flames to our light pop music.
Wow.
Yeah. So that really helped to really kickstart the band because we basically just we had just met 1 year before that, I think. And in just a year, we went from playing for fun at just school events and everything to playing big stages. And so that really helped forge the dream of playing together and going on tour and everything.
That's right, man. Wow. Such a cool story. Yeah, no, I wish I knew more about your band. Like that sounds like a huge deal. I mean, playing with In Flames, like
we weren't on the same stage, obviously. They were on the main stage, but yeah, In Flames live, man, they're so tight, and yeah, they're the big boxes. Yeah,
that's crazy. I
they're the
believe
kings.
right, but I believe they also have like other band. How is it called? The Halo Effect. Believe I'm not
Oh,
sure.
that's right. Yeah, I think I've heard of them.
I think they have like the same members or something like that. I know because one of my friends, Annalise, if you're watching this, she's going to one of the concerts. I believe 25. She's in Spain. She lives in Spain,
All right.
so
Yeah.
she's gonna watch that and Meshuggah.
Oh.
I
Oh.
envy her so much.
Oh, that's crazy. Oh, this is
So good, man. Like, so you're pretty much over everything, like as I said before, music wise. I mean, it doesn't matter the general style. Like, you get to paint your vision, but did you have like any favorite?
so the fun thing is the core of what I do musically is what I heard as a child. So it was basically my father's record collection and the cassettes he made, all his mixtapes, all the car rides and everything. So it went from a bit of Beatles music to Eric Clapton, all the way to Scorpions, or some opera pieces. And I think my earliest conscious memory of music was Pavarotti's interpretation of Caruso, I think.
Oh,
Something like that. I think that's my earliest musical memory. And I basically heard a little bit of everything all the way to heavy metal growing up. And the only department that's lacking is rap music, because we didn't have that in the house. But apart from rap music, I think I've heard a little bit of everything. And yeah, there's still something a bit special about songs. So I'm talking not instrumental music.
yeah.
And there's something magical where a simple line with very simple chord can be so beautiful when sung by the right person, the right way. And yeah, so I still hold the song format as the ultimate musical expression, but it's still a bit too soon for me. So I still dabble in a little bit of everything.
That's dope, man. I think I feel I relate to you. No, I feel you, man. That's really important. Like way you're like how you were raised and all that. It plays such a big part on who you are as a musician. I
Yeah.
remember my childhood also. My dad listened a lot to gospel music.
All right.
You know, jazz and all that. So I grew up with that. Actually, I hated it. I mean, it's not that I hated it, but when you get tired of listening to the same again,
Yeah,
it's not,
I get that.
But that plays such a big influence in how I play. Like, also I used to listen a lot to hardcore bands and punk and all that, and it just blends so well. Like people would think, oh, like it just doesn't match. It just doesn't make any sense, but to you it makes all the sense because it's part of you.
Absolutely, yeah. And I think the basic principle of music is just sharing and being together with other people and sharing an experience. So gospel, to me, it's the same thing as being in the circle pit at the metal concert. Right. It's basically the same thing. So it's humans having a connection. That's right. A bit higher at a spiritual level almost. Yeah,
that's
and
right.
To me, that's music for me. So I don't see those barriers between genres. So every time I need to upload my music, or when you need to fill blanks in categories and genres, it's a bit of a headache every time.
Right.
So
Right. That's so dope, man. Like such a cool topic now. Also, your content shows that free will about what you're saying. That versatility, that openness to new horizons, new ways of expressions. I have so many questions content wise, but
yeah, feel free to ask them.
I just don't want this to feel like a Q&A video, or like an interview, or whatever. Just like two people. That's what these videos are for. But actually, I would like to sum it up all in like three big questions. Are you ready?
Yeah.
So first, what do you start making content? Like, what actually inspire you to be like, okay, I'm gonna start doing this. I don't care about the outcome. Like that, I'm just going for it. That's the first. The second one is, why is it so hard for artists and creators to make content? Like, why you believe that's such a thing that happens a lot? Actually, I believe it happens a lot lately. I have so many friends, so many great musicians that are out there, and they just don't know what to do. They just don't feel enough. They just don't feel right to do what they love. That's crazy. Like it's you're killing your passion, and I'm a guilty for it. And the third one, like just finish up there. So, what advices would you give to these people, these artists, creators, musicians, to build a consistent workflow and also build an original style?
Yeah. So for the first one, I think I started in 2020, if I'm not mistaken. But the real start is basically when I started uploading every day. So it was really just short videos shot with my phone on my desk of me recording a part of all miming a playthrough or something like that.
Right.
And I think it was just I'm not really sure, but I think we were just, it was during COVID. So we had to stay at home.
Yeah.
And during the lockdown, that's when I really started pushing it and producing videos every day. And I've never really stopped since. I've just reduced the frequency because doing a video every day is just not possible. And I've also switched formats where I now record at the same time as I record the audio. So that's why I make concentrated faces. I don't really move because I'm really focused trying to play everything in time.
Of course.
So it's been around 3 to 4 years now that I've been doing it consistently. Yeah. So the second part is about being a musician. That's a really tricky one because I feel like there's a very strong stigma even today about being a musician and also being basically an influencer. And the sad thing is that you have to be both, because the music market is just saturated. There's too much good music coming out every day, every single day. So you have to build some sort of special connection with your audience. That implies your face, your persona, and everything, and usually means you have to share a little bit of yourself through pictures, videos, and that can be really simple with just recording yourself with your selfie mode, with your phone in selfie mode, and talking directly to your fans. But people crave that kind of direct connection with the artist. And at the same time, when you start doing that, you fall into a new category of musicians, the ones that you start to wonder, is he more of an influencer or is he more of an artist?
Right.
And to me, that's really tricky to navigate because I have a lot of business partners, and it's a really fine line between falling into the category of being an artist and being valued for the craft, for the music, and being valued for the influencing, for the videos, the promotion, the marketing side. And personally, I think that's a really artificial divide, because that's basically putting the burden of everything on the shoulders of the artist. And that's really weird to me, because you're basically telling the artist, you need to be making music, you need to promote yourself, you need to create the viral potential for your music, but we don't want an influencer. We still want an artist. So it's basically saying, do everything, and then we'll see where you fall between these two categories. And yeah, even just today, I had a phone call with a potential partner, and what they basically told me is, I'm more of an influencer for them rather than a guitarist. So that's a bit tricky to navigate, and yeah, I think it's a bit cruel for the musicians in general, because we have way too much to do.
That's right.
When we should be just expressing ourselves through the music.
That's right, man. It's a lot.
Yeah, but sadly that's something we have to accept as musicians and artists in general. Right. But I think so, since the business side of thing, since the industry in general puts all that burden on us, I think it's only fair that we decide what we want to do. So that's why I do what I do. Sometimes I'll publish videos knowing they'll bomb completely, but I'm just happy because that's what I want to do that day. So yeah, you need to find some kind of bottom line for yourself where you feel comfortable and proud of everything you put on the internet, but also take it a little bit easier and be kinder to yourself, because what you do ultimately, if it's true in the intent and the way it's presented, it has a real value, because that's yourself speaking to other people. So that's my real message when it comes to the second part. So it's just be kinder to yourself, because you will need to do all of that influencing thing as a musician. So that falls into the third question. So advice for anyone who wants to start doing this seriously. I think the most basic thing you need to get correctly is the setup, in my opinion. Because I used to do everything with my phone up until 2 or 3 years ago. And I used to live with a few roommates. So everything was shot in my bedroom, basically. It's a tiny bedroom. And I needed to prop my phone up on cardboard boxes every time I wanted to shoot a video. And that's just not practical. And it kills the intent, the creativity and everything. Because if you need to go through all that burden just to then shoot a video whilst you know you don't like doing that, that's just too much. That's too much. You can't do that. So the biggest shift in my process was having a tripod, a dedicated room, which I am here. I'm in. So a tripod for my phone, then my camera when I upgraded, and a few lights, so that I just need to flick one switch on and I can shoot the video. So yeah, my biggest advice is trying to find some way to have a consistent setup that you can basically record at the push of a button. And yeah, second part is you don't need the ultra high quality 4K video, especially nowadays. You just need to find something that works for you and that you find aligns with the music you do. So that can be as simple as just your phone, again, propped up on your desk, because if that's authentic to what you do and your process as a musician, that has value. And I think we need to stop putting originality on what kind of colors you have in the background, what you're wearing, what kind of guitar, what's the color of everything you play, and shift our focus on what's really authentic as for the artist and the musician. So I personally prefer the reels and the short videos I see on TikTok when it's just someone pressing record while they're tracking something basically random music. I prefer that kind of reels and short form content compared to the very produced style that I do, which is a bit ironic.
Yeah.
But I find there's equal value to everything, to both of those. So yeah, my advice would be just find something that's practical for you in your process, that doesn't hinder what you do musically, and that you can do in a consistent manner. That's easy, in a nutshell.
Yeah. That's right, man. I feel you for that. All you said, like, can even, how do you say, relate to,
Yeah.
I just find it like really such a normal feeling, to such a something you go through every day. I believe that's the same for you. Like, like even at the point you are, like, it doesn't matter. You always feel down. You always feel like you're missing something. Like you're not, like I said, up to the good, up to the,
Yeah.
Just,
that's a really good point, actually, because I can't stress this enough. I think comparison kills the creative process. Because if you start your process by comparing to what other people do, it's basically saying, I would like to tend to obtain that, but that's not you, and that's not what you do. So you end up, you basically shoot down your ideas before they even happen and have a chance to express themselves. So I would say, if you need to compare, which was the case for me, because I just wanted my videos to look a little bit more professional, to make a living out of them. So yeah, I needed to step up my game, but that comparison process should come at the end, when you have something, when you have a product.
That's right, man. Again, I can relate to it so much.
And as you said, I think we all go through that, because there's not a single day where I don't go, oh man, that video looks so good, I'm so bad in comparison. And we shouldn't do that to ourselves.
I feel you, man. It's been, I believe, 3 years since I uploaded a video again. I mean, that's one of the reasons I'm making this podcast. I just want, I don't know, I just been around people with so much passion and humble, I don't know how to put it into words, but I just find it so inspiring to be around this. I don't know, I just gotta make something with it. I just gotta share it. Because I know a lot of people like me, like you, need this type of content, need this type of inspirational of the everyday. That's what you do. I don't know you, but I listen to podcasts and I'm like just cooking or just playing or whatever. I'm just like, what can I learn from this? What can I put into practice every single day so I can be better, so I can be a better person, which is actually really important to be a musician. You have to connect with people. That all of us are good in. Definitely not me. I mean, I'm just see me like this, but I'm shy too. Like you can tell, I'm a guy that just doesn't like to hang around with any kind of people, but with just like a specific group. Like I'm really, I don't know. I'm sorry. I'm just really picky. Doesn't have to do with humbleness or whatever. It just, I just follow whoever that gives me that motivation, that inspiration, someone that's better than me, that's gonna make me improve. I believe that's what you should do too at the end.
Yeah, I get that. Yeah, but so I'm not sure that comes across on social media, but I'm an empath, so I tend to be like an emotional sponge, and it's really, really draining to be around people for me. So that's why I'm really happy doing what I do, which is often very solitary work.
Right.
Because just being, even my closest friends, just being around them, I can feel their energy and everything. I can feel their emotions, even when they don't express them.
Yeah.
And it's really draining just being with people for me, even people I love. So yeah, basically, I think I found the perfect job for me because I spend most of my time alone. But yeah, having it's a tricky thing, building real connections with people, and you have to have the strength to say. That's a really harsh thing to think and say, but you have to be upfront about saying to people, I I just can't hang with you because I can't. I'm not strong enough to handle that. And I've had to do that a lot. And it took me all about 25 years to be able to say those things to people. But I'm really happier now that I do. So I have a few close friends that I see not too often, but that I still see. But yeah, you have to be really aware of your well-being, especially on socials, where everyone feels like they can basically barge in, guns blazing every time. And no, you can, but you shouldn't. So yeah, it's all about finding those boundaries for yourself.
That's right, man. That's right. It's about making those hard steps that really keeps you focused on what you want to do. And talking about connections and all that, like I said, you're really versatile when it comes to genre styles, all that. But also gear-wise, just like, man, I don't know you, but I cannot play the banjo. I don't know if you can play the banjo, but that would be really fucking cool to see you playing the banjo or something like that. I don't know. I've just seen your videos and you just play what we call it. I don't know how it's like shakers, maracas, right? We call it here. And then, like I said, things like companies, Horizon devices, those, for at least for me, those kind of people, like they really make you step up, like to think about versatility. You're a sponsor from them. And I believe that it's because you found value. I can see the expressions in every content that you put out a ton. So talking about gear, for example, with Horizon devices, I've seen they've got the new clarity compressor, I believe.
Yes, that's right.
There? Oh,
yeah, so just unplugging it so you can show. Yeah.
Oh, that's cool, man. I just saw it. I was like, I don't know. I just
doesn't want to focus on it, but yeah.
I saw the video you made for it, but I was thinking how much just a pedal can change the way you express yourself. Yeah. It seems like, oh, it's just company, just one more pedal, whatever. I don't know. If you buy it because you like it, if you have it, you're a sponsor because you really support the products. They're really, I find really it's an inspirational company talking about Misha and people from the team. By the way, I'm not a sponsor, but you see me talking a lot about them. It's just I really liked it, really, really much about the stuff they do. And yeah, man. So which pedal is your favorite from them, and why?
It's hard to say. I think it's a tie between the Precision Drive, the classic, and the Clarity compressor. But yeah, I'll go with the compressor.
Right.
Because it's just that little thing that I just leave on my pedal board every time. Yeah.
I would love to try that with my guitar. I have.
Oh yeah.
Hard band. Yeah. So I think it will match really good with this guitar because you just have that. I don't know, just that clarity. Just the name, like I just would love to try that. And also, like, would you say you're like a pedal guy or?
So I switched to fully analog gear around when I moved to this place because I have the space for it.
Right.
And since I moved to using tube amps, there's no going back really. Because I'm not saying, one thing I should clarify is plugins sound the same, even better often. based only on the sound that's coming out of the speakers. But there's just something magical about the transient response and the squash and everything of tube amp going through a cab, which I have here down there. So yeah, basically I've switched to recording the old school way of running pedals in front of my amp and into a cab with mics in front of it. So that's how I record everything I do. And
that's cool.
That really helps because I have to commit to sound. I really don't. I hate working with DIs because you have way too many options. You can reamp, put different effects and everything. And I really strongly believe you play differently based on the tone you're playing through.
Oh, really?
So, and if you have a clear intent of what you want the sound to be, why not apply the adequate pedals? So if I want a flanger on a clean sound, a very compressed clean sound, I'll just click on the pedals and record that way. So I don't have to second guess. And if your intent is clear enough, you shouldn't have to worry about capturing a DI just in case.
Yeah.
Except if you're working with someone else for the mix. In that case, it's good to have the safety blanket just in case. But otherwise, yeah, if you know what you want, just plug the pedals you want in. Yeah.
That's cool, man. I don't have any analog gear. I just use plugins, but yeah, it's just use what you like, man. Like what drives you. And talking about HT again, you're a sponsor, but they're not the only one. You also have Josue amps about it.
Yeah, right. With those two, as for Horizon devices, so I basically won one of their riff contests, and then they reached out and just asked if I wanted to be an artist for them. Of course, I said yes, but I said yes after trying the pedals they sent me as a prize for the contest. So I still needed to make sure that I actually used the gear, because it just doesn't make sense. Even if I admire Misha and everyone in the company, I can't just say, yes, I want to be an artist just to have my name on the website.
Yeah, that's right.
That doesn't make sense. So yeah, that's how I got the Horizon Devices endorsement. And as for Josue, they also reached out, and they reached out after a few months of just us, the guy Josue, Marius, and me just chatting about music, about life, his kids, and just having a good time and a real connection. So one day he just reached out and asked, do you want to be an artist by any chance? And I said yes, because I needed a cab at the time.
Right.
And I always go for the people rather than the gear.
That's right, man.
Yeah, every company makes quality gear at those price ranges.
Yes.
So it's all about the connection and how you feel at the basic instinct level about the people. And I really love the guys over at Josue, so I'm just happy. And they let me put cats on the cab, so
yeah, that was really happy to ask you. I was like, isn't that the one with the cats? That's so dope, man. So I was actually going to like introduce you and be like, oh, and this is Raoul Tchoï, and he is a producer, composer, musician, but most importantly, a cat person. So you're a cat person, right? And I can tell that he also might feed like cat videos, and I can see, and every single one of them you're like liking.
Yeah, I do scroll at night and just like cat videos. I just love them.
Funny, man. It's fun. So talking about again Josue, so I don't know anything about that. I just know him because of you. So how would you describe their sound?
It's definitely really modern and really tight sounding. So I've had the chance to try, so not here at my place, but in studios, I've had the chance to record a bunch of different speaker and cabs setups. And ideally, I'd have an oversized Mesa Boogie 4x12, but that's just overkill for home use.
Yeah.
And so I was just searching for a vertical 2x12 because I really like the format and the way it spreads the sound. And I was really particular about having the top speaker being slanted and not flat, along with the bottom one, because that really changes the way the mid-range translates. So the fact that the baffle isn't parallel to the speakers makes there's less interference when the sound bounces back from the baffle.
Okay.
So compared when I record with the same mic on the top and bottom speakers, trying to match positions and everything, you get a much more chaotic mid-range out of the bottom speaker and a very even, rich mid-range from the top one. So I really wanted that just to add some versatility to it. And so, yeah, they are really modern in that I got my cab with their own speakers, which are called the Heso Demon speakers. So you can guess it's aimed towards metal. So you get that really hi-fi sound with the slightly scooped mid-range and really controlled lows. But yeah, I'm thinking of maybe changing one of those two speakers just to add some mid-range back. But yeah, in general, Hesu is a modern metal brand.
That's interesting, man. I always practice and just keep changing between caps or IRs that I use. It really affects so much the sound. It really it's all the sound you get right there. Like you just want to go for a specific sound, you just go for the cap first, and then you can change all that, and it's just amazing. I mean that's the cool part of it. Like it's really the response, and also I've seen you made a video. I believe it was the Bogan Digital, the RRX, is it called? Something like
it's the IRDX plugin,
right? Yeah, we're very cool. The concept of like the response that, let's say, reality you want in a cab that you will find in person, right? Like, it's just amazing that we have that kind of technology these days. Also talking about all these brands, man, like there's so many brands that we keep talking about that. Like we have Get Good Drums.
Yeah.
We have Hertz drums, right?
Yeah.
So I know you've been using all these brands, but how do you choose like what to use? Because I believe we have, like I said, we have so many options that we could feel like, I don't know, overwhelmed or not sure what to go for a sound. So what do you do? What's your process?
So when it comes to drums, I think it's really easy for me because it's Get Good Drums. So my go-to libraries are P5 and Invasion by them. That's just, it comes down to a very simple thing. It's that they sound the closest to my ideal recorded sound.
Right.
Because I play a little bit of drums and I love engineering them and recording them. And Get Good Drums have that realistic thing in the way they sample everything, and they really sound out of the box as I want raw drums to sound, basically.
Yeah.
And when other companies reach out and send me their stuff, I'm happy to do the demo because, as you said, new gear inspires new ideas. And it's the same with software for me. But I'm also very upfront and tell them when I don't really like something. Right. So when it comes to Hertz drums, for instance, they have a very specific, warm, punchy, and thick sound that's really cool for some things, like really industrial style metal, where you don't really want a realistic sound. Don't want them to take this the wrong way, but yeah. So I use Hertz drums for this kind of stuff. And as for things like, I've demoed the Robot Dog studio drums, yeah. And that's really cool too, but that's just tuned too low for me. And it's just too thick and punchy. And I think it's really well suited for country music. But
really?
It's just really not really for me. So yeah.
For anyone that's still like with the laugh.
Yeah.
For no reason. It's just that I'm showing my t-shirt says Johnny Cash. He's talking about country. I'm sorry, I had to do it.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm really upfront with people, and when it comes to drums, it was just really just simply, yeah, that's how I want my drums to sound. So let's get good drums for me.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's so cool. I just love that we have this kind of technology these days. I feel such a huge advantage. Like we didn't have these things in the past.
Yeah, I honestly couldn't do what I do without those plugins. So
Yeah, no way. Like, and not only that, like to make it sound good, just right up the bat, like just a couple of preset. These days, I'm using, for example, that STL tones control up thing. I don't know anything about mixing, or I'm trying to learn, but I just put a preset on there, and I mean, it sounds good to me. I
yeah,
don't care.
yeah,
That's all it goes to. So it's so dope. We have that kind of stuff, and we have bass, we have synths, we have anything. We have
yeah, yeah,
orchestra stuff. Talking about orchestra, like I've seen you have a lot of videos with orchestration, kind of like film, like scoring. I don't know a lot about it. I'm actually studying music, and we're just getting into that. So, can you tell people more like why you choose to get that type of style? Why you choose to use that kind of sound?
I think we all rip off Devin Townsend, so that's
Right.
just it. No, no, but I grew up listening to a lot of orchestral stuff, really classical music, but also I think one of my earliest prog metal influences was Dream Theater. And so you have these huge, epic orchestras. So there's always been a part of me that, yeah, I would like to do that. But I also know it's a bit too bombastic
Yeah.
and slightly pretentious at times because you go, ah, I don't know if that
Right.
makes sense. But you're like, yeah, it's a bit too epic
Yeah,
for
I
me
get it.
sometimes. But yeah,
No, but to be honest, like I just love the way you do it, the way you implement this kind of sounds. But like you said, sometimes it can be like too epic. You're almost thinking like you're listening to what epic cow, like some
yeah,
kind of like
that's
power
basically it.
metal.
Yeah,
But I just love the way you implemented it. I really
thanks, man.
like a lot of, for sure, man. I love a lot that kind of sounds like uh, orchestral. I just like the inspiration that it gives me, like to drive the music forward, right?
Yeah,
So I know that you have a bunch of guitars in your
yeah,
pack,
yeah, yeah, I do.
and I would love to talk about them, but I would love to talk more like the Harley bands and stuff, because I know
Yeah,
they're the brand he use most. That's also one of the guitars I have right here,
yeah.
and actually, I believe you inspired me to buy it that time.
Oh, all
Yeah,
right.
because I was watching your videos, I was like, wait a minute, this is not an expensive guitar. It sounds amazing. Oh, I think I might try this, and I just love them, man. Like I believe they're the best bang for the buck instruments you can find these days.
Yeah,
Like the quality, like they look amazing, they sound amazing. Of course, there's gonna have like little things here and there, like details that you have to fix. I've seen you've done uh fixes to your
yeah.
guitars. Like I don't know anything about it, man. That stressed me up. I just sent it to a local luthier, and that's it. But I know you do your stuff, you know, and that's so dope, man. Like they're from Thomas, right?
Yeah, yeah. I think that's what enables them to have such low prices because they buy in huge bulks, and that tends to lower everything in terms of
Right,
costs per unit. So yeah, I think in the case of Harley Benton, I think they really pushed the market for those for that sweet spot around 300 euros where you can where you started to get really good instruments.
right.
And I think that wasn't really the case before them. So I'm happy they they did. Yeah. But yeah, I'm not really too picky. I may appear like a huge nerd on the outside, but I'm happy to play anything basically. And I think the guitar a guitar will inspire different ideas based on how it feels and how it responds, and in what tuning it expresses itself the best.
All right.
But I honestly think you could get budget €60 Strat copy to play just as well as one of my €1,000 sold-out guitars, something like that. It comes down to the setup and the way you set up the guitar.
For sure, man.
So yeah,
that's right. So Thomann, I believe, is it from Europe, right?
Yep.
I mean, that's why he used them as just a local store. Are they like a kind of a theater center from Europe or something like that?
Yeah, they are. So the closest equivalent I could think of is Sweetwater in the US.
Okay.
So it's this kind of really huge company. So the bad side is that they tend to put small stores out of business.
Really?
Like, yeah, because they're such a huge company that they can just lower the prices so much that, yeah. But the good side is you get guitars like Harley Benton, so there's a flip side to everything, sadly. But yeah, they're really cool, and it's such a huge store. They retail for all major brands. You can basically get everything from them.
That's great, man. I mean, it's not the best thing for me because, it's Europe, so the shipping cost is, I believe it's almost like the cost of the guitars they have out there. But still, man, like, it's so dope that I have that available to me.
Yeah.
Every single day to me. I just can buy just any instrument I want right now and just ship it to my home, and just that's dope, man. I have that kind of technology. Also, how many guitars do you have from Harley Benton? You have so much. Man.
So I have just Harley Benton. So I have two basses.
Right.
One with flat wounds, one with round wounds. So it's different styles, and they're set up differently to accommodate those styles.
Right.
I have 3, and I have 5 other Harley Benton guitars.
Like with the acoustic?
Yeah, including the acoustic.
Yeah. That's cool, bro. That's amazing. I believe it tells a lot about your versatility as a musician. You have all these tools available to you, and you just pick, right?
Yeah. You just touched on something really important for me, because they're basically tools, so I'm not too precious about them, and that's why I can't really say the company's name, but I saved up so much money a few years ago to buy what was my dream guitar at the time. And I was just so disappointed, because when you pay up to $4,000 for a guitar, and if you're not rich yourself, you start to just be worried about every little ding, scratch, and everything, and you just feel uncomfortable on the guitar. So I ended up selling it, because I think the maximum I would pay for a guitar, even today, is around $1,200 to $1,300, not more, because that's already a lot of money.
Yeah.
So I tend to like that kind of sweet spot where you transition from maybe the upper end of Indonesian-made guitars and the lower end of Korean-made guitars. That's my sweet spot for now.
Right. So, what's your favorite? Would you say Harley Benton?
So no question, it's this one. So it's the Fusion 2 HSH. There's not much stock on it except from the wood.
Right.
Everything else I replaced. So I replaced the nut, the rotor, string tree.
Yeah.
I replaced all the electronics, the bridge too, pickups, and I also chiseled away at the wood. As you can see.
Really? You did that yourself?
Yeah, and refinished everything, trying to make it look okay.
Oh, that's cool.
So, bro. This was my main guitar with my band. up until just recently.
Yeah.
So it survived a few tours, and it's still going strong. It's one of my best playing guitars in my collection, so that goes to say they're great guitars.
For sure, man. I just love the videos you've done with that Fusion one. I remember I've seen a lot of videos with that. And also, I've seen they have the Fusion 3, but like, have you seen like a black version of it?
Yeah.
I would love to get my hands on that after this one, because I know I love it. I know it's gonna be my main guitar. Just saving up to buy that one. It's just amazing.
Yeah, it looks amazing, and I think it comes with EMG pickups.
Yeah.
So it's basically already there. Really? You don't have to upgrade anything. So yeah,
that's great, man.
Yeah.
I've seen that you've got like new acquisitions. How do I say that? But yeah, you got the new Mesa preamp, right?
Yeah, just that.
That's cool, man. Is that like a rack type of thing?
So it's a rack unit that was in production from 1987, if I'm not mistaken, up to 1992. So just a few years, and it's basically two Mark series preamps on top of each other. The top one is model it's roughly a Mark IIc Plus, so Petrucci and the whole gang, Metallica,
for sure.
Yeah, what you want. And the one at the bottom is inspired by the Mark III. So it's a slightly different character and texture, but yeah, I love it because it's just the sound of my heroes, my childhood. But yeah, Petrucci, Timmons, yeah, just love the sound.
No, man, I would love to have like a rack type of thing. It makes total sense, right? Like it's like a compact version,
yeah,
right? And you just have it in your desk, like right up to record,
yeah.
Right?
I think I really prefer the rack format, even just looking at it, like you can just put it in your rack on your desk, as you said. There's something really clean and streamlined about it.
Yeah.
And I wish more companies did build preamps like those, because I know they used to be really popular in the 80s and up to the late 80s. Every big name had huge racks with effects and everything. And for some reason, during the 90s, I think it just all went away. People reverted to the classic stack with the head and cab. Yeah. I wish there were more preamps. Yeah, I want more rack units, please.
Yeah, please, companies. I would love to have my favorite amps right there. Like, imagine like 5150, 14 Mapless, I don't know, whatever. The Omega. Can you imagine? Like, that would be so dope.
Yeah.
So talking about all this gear, just made me to a question that I know I've heard a lot of times, but I would love to know your take on that. Do you think gear matters, or is it more about the idea or production of things?
That's tricky, because yes and no, because so I can only speak for my experience,
right?
Because everyone's different and everyone's relationship to gear is a bit different and very personal. But I know for a fact that if I had everything I have today when I started, I think that it would have been overwhelming, and I would not be as, I don't really know how to say, well versed, or just I would not have the same foundation as a musician that I have today. Because there's something about having just, you have your guitar and there's no alternative choice. That's your guitar and you just pick it up and that's how you play. There's something about that that's really special when you're starting out. And yeah, I don't think price really matters for that. Because for me, the first ever electric guitar I got was a Harley Benton Strat copy. think it was around 60 or 70 euros. It played really badly with really high action, sounded fairly bad too. But it was just my electric guitar. So yeah, that helps because then you have just a home base that you can build upon, and then you start to just wonder, yeah, I wish the neck was a little bit thinner, or I wish the pickups were a little bit hotter and everything, and then you start to refine what you want. And for me, I think I like that process, just building on a strong foundation. That's a Strat, that's a classic guitar. Everyone should have a Strat.
Yeah.
That's what I have. And then you can build upon it, like everything that it's lacking. So the second guitar I got was an Ibanez RGA.
Oh, okay.
So one of the RGA 42, the red one with the flame top.
One, yeah, I've seen it, yeah.
So that was humbuckers, active pickups, higher outputs, just shred machine. So it's basically the polar opposite of what I had before.
Right.
And it really answered a need and a demand musically for me, because it did everything the Strat couldn't do. So I like that approach, but I also know that it's a luxury to have the gear I have and to have a dedicated space. But I can make the most of it today, because as it is said, I know that one guitar is going to do that kind of stuff, that kind of color, that tuning for me. So every instrument is set up differently with different electronics and everything, even different tunings. So when I want a classic rock sound, I know where to reach and what guitar to reach for. So yeah, there's something like a mental map of everything that's in my studio. And they're just like a palette that I have a bit more colors than most people, which I'm really thankful and lucky for. But yeah, they are just tools and colors. You just pick the one that I want. Yeah.
That's right. It tells so much about you. That's just a smart take on that. To have this palette of color, this palette of colors on it. Like, it just makes the work, let's say, easier. Just makes at least your mind, your focus. You can just put it in a box and just go from there. That's so dope.
And having the guitar set up differently really helps, because you know when you want to shred and play fast stuff and everything, you know you want a certain kind of setup, a very specific thing. And I have a few guitars that are set up for that, but that's not the same setup I want when I play heavy rhythm, because then I get too much buzzing and everything. I like a fairly high action compared to what people normally associate with shred. So having different setups really, really helps for me.
That's cool, man. Yeah, I just think here, in general styles, all that just makes you think about what you want to express, what you want to show everyone. This is what I've got. This is what I want you to listen this part. Like, I just love that you do this. Like, you just, I don't know, they just kind of a guitar part, and then you just right after just put, like, I don't know, synth with a little, I don't know, like, rhythmic sound, and it just tells like the intention you have with it.
Yeah.
It's really important.
That's also because I just get bored from listening to myself. So when it goes for a few too many seconds, just get bored and I panic a little. I go, I need to change things up, find something, a weird sound or something. That's why there are so many cuts in my music. I just get bored. I want to keep things fun and exciting.
I love that. You like to, we call it here arreglista. I just say that, like, in English. I believe it's like you just add stuff. You just make stuff sound, like you said, like not boring, just cleaner. And all that. And
I'm really not saying that other music is boring. It's just that everything I do feel like everything I ever put out as a musician is average at best, and I really don't care. Since really recently, really, I'm just, when I used to be on a quest of being technically proficient, playing fast, having the best mix, the heaviest metal mix, the funkiest funk mix and everything, I think that shifted towards just wanting to be true to my intent. So I think maybe it's been maybe a year and a half of every single video I put out. I'm really proud of what I did, regardless of what's in the video, because it's true to how I felt and what I wanted to do at that time. And yeah, I just want to my music and my videos to be true to what I feel and want to do. So basically, I don't really care that it's bad.
Of course. Yeah, I understand that totally. And now you mentioned like mixing, man, mixing plays such a big part. I mean, I've actually heard that it's just like 80 or 50% like composition, then like 30% mixing, and 10 whatever percentage it is. I just believe mixing plays a part of making that intention go in the right box.
Yeah.
Go in the in the that space that I don't know how to put it to words, because it seems like it feels like it's like a technical thing, but it's more actual abstract, right? I've heard this guy, I don't know if, of course you've heard it, like a Buster Wilhelm, Jarza, like I've heard him talk every time. It doesn't matter how you got there, why you got there. You have to get there, and that's the hard part, I'm learning to mix it, and it's hard, man. It takes experience. It takes time, like, to get your ears used to it, used to that sound. For example, I'm using these headphones, and I mix with this. And it's easier to mix with this because I've used these headphones for like
you're used to them.
Years.
Yeah.
So I'm used to this sound, and I know when it sounds good in them, which is some people believe it's all like acoustic, or it's all this gear specific, or this tool. But it's more how you use them, how you relate to them, right? That's your process with mixing.
So I tend to think of everything backwards, because back in the day, I used to think I'll just record my parts, and then the track tends to start taking its form at the mixing stage.
Yeah.
So everything, my demos used to sound like garbage, like really bad, and then through the mixing process was when I achieved my vision. And my opinion nowadays is that it's a bit of a backwards way of thinking things. Because if you know what kind of tones you want, my personal opinion nowadays is that your demo or your scratch raw tracks should sound like a track, like a finished product. So you'd be shocked to see that there's very little processing in my sessions, apart from the drums. So everything you hear, the guitars and everything, I don't EQ. So that's just two mics, and I play with the phase between the two, and no processing, because they sound the way I want them to sound. And if the tone isn't what I want, I just move the mics or change the settings. Because why delay that operation when you can just record the sound you hear in your head? So that's the tricky part when it comes to plugin for me. Because the plugins, especially the guitar plugins like the Neural DSP stuff, or the amp hub and everything, they sound really, really good. But there's way too many options, and you always have the option of tweaking the settings just a little bit after the fact. And I feel that I personally tend to go into a rabbit hole and just tweak everything, and I just spend a whole day tweaking things when I should be focused on writing the music.
Yeah.
So that's also why I switched to the amp cap setup. But
I feel you, man.
if you have a clear idea of what you want, you should be able, or you should learn your tools just enough that you can articulate that into tones and source signals. Because if you have to wait for the mixing stage for things to sound like you want them to sound, I think I'm not saying that's a wrong approach, but it's usually a bit more convoluted, and you end up wasting a bit of your energy trying to chase that.
Right, to get it like in the right, just get it right in the recording process. Yeah,
and that's especially useful and important when you work with clients. Because I used to work as a full-time engineer for a few years before I started making videos. And when you have a band that's in the studio with you and that you record everything, you want every layer to add to the music. And basically at the end of a session, at the end of the day, you want to play something that sounds like an album to the band.
Of course.
And if you have to tweak everything and you record the DIs for the guitars and plugins and everything, that just never works.
It's a bomb, man. It just how these stages like have to relate to each other, have to just make it all like fit.
Yeah.
Make it all like mix. Wow, that's why it's called mixing. Like, make it all, just one thing. It doesn't just come to a master, right? You also masterize it, like your stuff, right?
Yeah, I do out of necessity. Ideally, if I were to write real serious music, I would probably outsource the mastering, just because it's always good to have a fresh pair of ears checking the music. But
for sure,
you said something about using plugins and presets before, and I think that's where there's a tricky line, because not everyone wants to be an engineer and spend years just training their ears, learning about compression, EQ. That's a hassle, and it's a tough work, and you need a lot of repetition. It's really technical, and I totally get that some people just want to play music. They're guitarists, they're drummers, they're musicians, and don't want to be engineers.
Yeah,
that's perfectly fine. But that's when you fall into using presets.
Mm-hmm.
And I've heard that a few times over the last few days, where friends of mine would say everyone's using the same GGD pack, same guitar presets. All new gent releases sound the same because everyone's using the same source tones. And there's a bit of truth to that, but also, if you don't want to engineer, you shouldn't have to. That's why you use presets and things that more experienced people have done the work for you.
For sure.
And yes, you should take advantage of that. So there's a tricky balance, and I don't have an answer for that, except maybe you record everything and then send those raw tracks to an engineer you like the sound of. Maybe.
Yeah.
But then you have to pay the guy. So, and you don't necessarily have the money. Yeah. It's tricky. Sure.
Yeah, I feel you, man. With that mixing process, for example, for me, like I was saying, I'm not sponsored by these people, STL Tones Control Hub. I'm forever thankful that they made that.
Yeah.
For beginners like me. I know you have loved that in a certain moment. Like, it just helps you to know like what sounds good for them, so you can learn what actually sounds good. So like you said, if you can just send it to mix, that's actually what I'm gonna do with my band. Creating a band, by the way, with my friend.
Congrats.
Sebastian.
Yay.
Thank you. We're still searching for members, how it is the process, but we're making all these demos and all this stuff, and I'm trying, to make it all sound as best as I can. So a good tool like that thing, the control hub thing, I can just put all the presets, put it all there, like how I'm supposed to sound, how I want it to sound, so I can just send it to an engineer, someone that actually knows what's doing, to know, he wants it to sound like this. That's what I believe. That's what it is about.
That
like all this, it's all tools, and
Yep.
you can use it for any kind of thing. Like that's the
Absolutely.
beauty. That's the beauty of it.
Yeah.
I just find it so. It's really inspiring to me. I know you're also inspired, like with gear and all stuff. I can see already your story. You can see mine. Like it's just, it is what it is, man.
Yeah.
They're
Yeah.
tools. It's like I don't know how I'm going to say like a chav. But yeah, you can say like a chav. They have their favorite knife. I don't know.
Yeah.
Not the best.
Absolutely. Yeah. Oh,
But,
that's right. Yeah.
but that's right, man. So before you go, I didn't want like to end it this early. I actually wanted like talk more with you.
That's fine. I have a bit more time if you want.
Yeah, I would
Happy to
love to
chat.
talk more about this.
Yeah. Let's do.
I love to talk about this stuff with musician friends, and that's
Yeah.
why I made this podcast. It's just really comforting, or I would say, yeah, I don't know if
Yeah,
that's what you say.
I get what you mean.
You know, that like that feeling of that not feeling alone, not feeling like um in this box, like we're in this bedroom with like bedroom or studio musicians, and we
Yeah.
feel like stuck, or like, oh, I'm here and there. Everyone is just out there doing stuff, you know. I get that feeling. So that's why I want people like to feel connected,
Yeah.
and to look for connections. Because if I never talk to you, this will never happen. So
Yeah. That's true.
that's how it works. So
Yeah.
before you go, I want you to do two things. I want you to tell the audience who should I invite or be the next guest on this podcast, and then do any announcement you would like to make, concerts, music, content, anything.
Ooh, let me think for just a little bit.
Yeah, sure.
So many
Take-
cool people out there.
right?
It's really hard to pick just one person.
Yeah, I get you, man. Just take your time.
That's the trick question. It's really hard to answer.
You can be anyone in your mind, you know. You want to invite James Hetfield, I'll be happy for it.
Let me just check on Instagram because
For sure, yeah. Let's
I
see.
have so many names. Let me check. Who would be cool to have? That's just there are so many talented players and musicians out there. It's really hard to.
It could be anyone, man.
Actually, I think no, it's too hard.
Who are you choosing between? You can say it. Like, it doesn't matter. I can invite. If you have two people or more, you can say.
So I think someone I really look up to in terms of building a business and building something as an artist is Clayton King.
Oh,
so yeah, he's the king, as his name states. But I also have a friend whom I really, really admire, because she just has a way of approaching life in general.
Yeah,
she's switched gears I don't know how many times in her life, and still with music, with jazz music specifically at the center of everything. She's called Nala, Nalla.
Nalla. Nalla. Okay.
Yeah, she plays jazz music. She's a songwriter, beat maker, producer.
Oh,
what everything basically.
So.
Yeah, she plays mostly jazz influenced music.
Yeah,
but really modern, in a modern format. And yeah, I think she'd be really, really cool to interview.
Oh man,
Way more interesting than me.
Yeah. No, man. I'll send her this video.
Yeah.
Let's see what she says. And talk about Clayton. Actually, I invited Clayton.
All right.
It's invited to the podcast, so we'll be doing that, and I'm really excited for it too. So, God, man, like this talk has been amazing, Raoul. Again, it's an honor for me to have you here. Like,
thank you.
Thank you for supporting this podcast, and myself, as always. You've won another musician friend that admires you and looks forward from what deep talks like we just had, in a drink. I mean, finish it. I know the effort you put in, and man, I know the effort you put in and strive, man. So cheers.
Thanks, man.
Raoul Tchoï, everyone. Thank you. Thank you.
No, thank you, man. I'm really happy.